And another one, the incentive for, for the managerial level, right? And as for the managerial level, actually last week we also addressed a little bit for that. Yeah, like for example, for the managerial level, the incentive, the pay plan for the, for the managerial level will be quite more long-term oriented. Yeah, and generally for most of the company, we give them the stock options. Yeah, if the company is like a listed company. Yeah, so then for the managerial level, or especially for the top executive level, they can get some stock options. And of course, for the stock options, to give for the company to provide for the managerial level, the stock options, sometimes it also brings some problems. Do you know why? Because for the managers, especially for this top executive level, the stock options comes from the company's profit made, right? Yeah. So then, if you in the future, if you have the opportunity to be at this top executive level, and then, part of your salary will become from like how much, earnings from the company, then of course, what you would do, of course, one issue is try to increase the revenue, right? But then, if you cannot really increase your revenue, because for you to generate the revenue, you also need to use different strategy. But then on the other hand, what you should do will be cut down the cost, right? Okay, so what you would do will be about what? How to cut down the cost. Huh?
Reduce the material or something that maybe reduce the quality of the product.
Yeah, you might kind of try to lower down a little bit for the quality of the material. Yeah, so then you can get the materials, cost a little bit more down. So then, of course, that also influences a little bit. And then on the other hand, if your company is a little bit more, kind of high-tech oriented, you also need to invest some R&D cost, R&D development expenditure, in developing some new technology, sort of. But then, because of the profit generated, okay, the earnings is very important. Then, you might also try to cut down for the R&D cost, the R&D expenditure. So then, of course, that brings you more, kind of earnings, right? So then that will be the problem. It will be related to the governance problem. So then for this listed company, they always need this board of director to monitor a little bit for this, the top executive officer, what strategy that they use is very important. All right, so that's related to the stock options problem then. All right, and last week we also talked about a concept. Okay, it's also one of the incentives for the top executive level. Yeah, last week we talked about golden parachutes, right? Yeah, because as top like a CEO, if your company got merged, all right, or your company kind of lose the ownership or control, it's not that easy for you to find another job then, all right? So then, of course, you talk about, you sign up this golden parachutes, with the company. What if, if the company, got merged by the other company, then you no longer, keep your position then, right? That's a golden parachute. So then, of course, you get the big money, okay? All right, so then the last one, because nowadays, a lot of companies, they use it's more toward to like a team's project, right? So, how to really generate the team members' motivation to work harder. I think before we also talked about one issue that's is also one of the problem that it's happened quite often for the team's project. What is the problem? Social, very good. Social laughing. Remember? Social laughing. Do you still remember this concept? Yeah, that indicates, for you to participate in the team's project, are you gonna put more or less effort compared to you work on this project individually? More or less? Yeah, of course, less, right? You would think about like, well, if I do more, then it seems like kind of my other team members, yeah, they have nothing else to do, right? So then it's always like, for each individual, for you to work on the team's project, yeah, you always have this mindset that, eventually you put the effort that you will put on this team's project will be less than, you work on the project individually. As well as, I'm sure for most of you, okay, you have conducted this team's project, right? For some teams, then you work on this team project. They're gonna have some people, when you call for the meeting, they never show up, right? And well, if they show up, they have no contribution, right? What do we call this type of team member? Free rider, exactly. That is also another main problem, okay, for the team's project, all right? So then, for the organization-wide, okay, or teams, well, it also has some incentive plan. It's, we also need to take into consideration, okay, for example, how do we design for the team's incentive, okay? The pay incentive to the team is better to be based on what? Yep. Team's performance. Yeah. Team's performance. Yeah. But try to think about like for team's performance, how do you allocate these resources? For example, you work on some team's project, and then this project help your company to earn some money, right? For example, like $100,000. Okay, and then in your team you have 10 team members. Okay, how to allocate this, this money equally divided? Do you think that's a good idea? Equally divided? Yeah. It seems not that fair, right? Because there are some people who are so-called what? Free rider. Yeah. This guy, he or does not show up in our project's meeting, and then he dedicate quite little. Yeah. Why he get one portion, of this reward then, right? It's not that fair, right? So it's inequity. Yeah, sometimes like equality is not really worked that well, in this reward. Yeah, so then the team's incentive, how to set up this, reward for the team. Yeah, actually, it's a very important issue. Like for example, before this Levi's, factory in the United States, it happened like they cannot really allocate the resources, for their team's project. So then it ended up caused like there's some factory were closed, right? So that is an issue related to the team's incentive. Okay, so well, actually the better way to do it, will be related to like profit sharing. Okay, you share the profit with the team member or with the employee in your organization. But how to share that profit? Of course, it would be better to share the profit by the contribution or by the performance. Okay, so in each team, then as a supervisor or the team leader, okay, I think they also need to have some reward system, the mechanism to allocate for those reward to each team member. Right, so then by this profit sharing plan, I think in our today's case, okay, we're also gonna talk about it. It's a profit sharing for this wrap it up this company. Yeah, they also use the profit sharing plan. The purpose is to increase the productivity and the morale. Okay, for the employees, their like kind of their loyalty. Otherwise for the employee, they don't feel that fair, or the profit sharing plan is not that good enough. That I think they would just quit and go for the other companies then. All right. So this profit share plan is also one of the important approach that have been used by the most of the company then. Okay, and then it can also enhance the employees' commitment, right? So for this profit share plan, it includes two different type of plan. One will be provided by the cash, right? Current profit sharing or cash plan. Okay, so then this cash plan actually you will provide for the employee like quarterly or annually. Okay, as I know, like the TSMC in Taiwan, this is the biggest semiconductor company, Taijidian. Yeah, actually they use this because I have a niece. She worked in this company. Yeah, when they got some profit made, every quarter, then they'll get this cash profit share, the cash. Yeah, so of course, as an employee, you feel happy. Like the more efforts that you make, at your work, and then you really get the feedback. Okay, another approach has been made is a different profit sharing plan. Okay, which indicates that you don't really get the cash. Okay, for the company, they will have this. They put this cash award into the trust account. Okay, the trust account. So then, you might get this money when the time you want to quit for the job, right? So, of course, that brings a different effect. Yeah, so then it will be better, by using this. Yeah, I think it will be also better to retain for the employee, because for some employee, if they get the, cash and then, you will just leave then. Yeah, so then for the company, if they use this, they put in the reward in some trust account, and then they might make some policies. Yeah, it has to wait until when, sort of. Yeah, then you can get this money then, right? What time is it? Because today my alarm is a little bit. 3? Exact 3? Huh? 3:02. Oh, okay. All right. So maybe let's take a short break, and we come back for the rest.